Hi, so my name is Philip Durbin, and I've been a developer for Dataverse for almost 6 years. And since this is a computational crowd, I'll mention that the prior 6 years of that, I worked in research environments. So I helped researchers with scheduling systems like Condor and Slurm, LSF, that kind of thing. I'm from Columbus, Ohio, home of the Ohio State Buckeyes, so I'm excited to be here in the Big Ten Center. So thanks for inviting me. Dataverse is open source research data repository software. Dataverse is also a community, and I wanted to thank Victoria Stodden for giving the keynote address last year at our third annual community meeting, and she introduced Wholetail to our community. So you're on our radar already, you Wholetail people. There are 33 installations of Dataverse around the world. It's an active and growing community. And we were asked, what cool things is your project doing to address reproducibility? And fundamentally, one of the primary things Dataverse does is provide an incentive for data sharing in the first place. So we give researchers credit for their data. We have features like our guest book where researchers can learn how their data is being used. We provide metrics. For example, this data set has been downloaded 9,000 times. And in the future, we're going to be using additional metric systems such as this make data count system. More on that in a bit. We have a concept of replication data sets. We host 6,000 of these in Harvard Dataverse. And I made the text bigger from one of these data sets to show that the Odum Institute at UNC has professional curators that replicate tables and figures in the primary article. This is a requirement for being published in the American Journal of Political Science. I was hoping John Crabtree from Odum would be here today, but there's some kind of hurricane. We do have a computation story in Dataverse. These are the existing tools we have. Primarily, these work at the file level for tabular files, where we will present a Explore button, and you can open up a tool called Data Explorer, where you can do cross-tabulation. You can open up a tool called Two Ravens, where you can do statistical analysis. That's at the file level, these tools. So we have a more experimental compute button, call it, and you have to have a special setup of Dataverse where you're storing your files on Swift, which is an OpenStack thing. Then you click the compute button, and it launches the compute side of OpenStack, and you can play around with your data and run arbitrary computation there. That's existing, is what we have today. And this is the perfect venue to announce that we were recently awarded a grant from the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation. There's a blog post coming on this any day, but I'm just going to read the title of the grant, Increasing Scientific Dataset Quality Through Reproducibility and Curation Tools and Targeted Services in Dataverse Repositories. So to unpack that a little bit, what we're really doing is we're working on the tools side, and we're working on the human side, the curation services side. And I've put the 4 tools here that we are planning to integrate with: Code Ocean, Encapsulator, Core2, and Make Data Count. And then on the curation side, part of the grant is trying to come up with a sustainable model for offering curation services from Harvard Dataverse. Right now, it's free data hosting. We do some amount of curation, but we want to be able to offer some paid tiers. We're not sort of promising that this is going to be sustainable. We want to come up with a model that we think will work. It's sort of a pilot program. And I wanted to mention that the Dataverse community is really into this concept of of data quality, data reuse, and many installations are pursuing this Core Trust Seal certification. And Tilburg was the first to announce to the Dataverse community that they've already achieved this certification. So the Sloan grant sort of covers stuff we're definitely on the hook for, right? But meanwhile, our community has their own ideas of what they want to do for computation and reproducibility. So I thought I'd just mention 3 right here. We have a researcher at Harvard Medical School who's about to launch his installation of Dataverse. He uses this local data access path config option where he can mount all the files from his Dataverse right in his cluster. So we can just tell his researchers just CD to this NFS NSF mount and you can go crazy with the data. There's a ton of excitement about Jupyter Notebooks, and there is a group at UC Berkeley who we've been talking to that want to add a launch in binder button, sort of similar to what we heard earlier about the launch in Wholetail, where you enter a DOI and then would be able to play around with the data in a Jupyter Notebook. And then this last one, there were some students at BU this last semester that were playing around with integrating Dataverse with Spark, which was really exciting. And that's it. Thank you. You can find me on Twitter, Philip Durbin. Our website is dataverse.org.